Hi and welcome back to Dan Dempsey's Garage. I've just finished working on Lotus Elan. You may have seen it here before, the little red front wheel drive Lotus Elan M100. It had an unusual problem this time. It failed the NCT on emissions, and as it turned out I had quite a few hoops to jump through to get it to pass the test again. So initially I had started out with testing all of the engine management system, right down to injectors and everything. This car is very low mileage, 20,000 miles in it, and I found no faults anywhere in the engine management system. So after that I proceeded to try and connect to the ECU, to the computer, and being an older car, it wasn't compatible with the latest generation of scanning tools. So I had to, luckily there is freeware available online, a program called Elan Scan, and all I had to do really was to make up an interface cable, download the free software, and start communicating with the computer. So after a little bit of that, there was no faults registered, but I just took note of the software version numbers and did some research online. And eventually I discovered that Lotus had actually become aware of a problem with the emissions on these cars in the early 2000s, and had come up with a modified program for the computer. Now this car is a one-owner car, bought brand new in 1992, and has only 20,000 miles in it, and it somehow escaped the recalls, and it was never upgraded with the latest software, and when I actually started to look for the chip from Lotus, it wasn't available, and there was a company called Elan Chips, I think they're called, in England. They were no longer producing these chips either. It was only luckily that I got in touch with somebody in the owners club, or the Central Elan Forum, Lotus Central Elan Forum, and it turns out there's a guy on there who he just had produced a batch of chips, and I managed to get the last one. So I was very lucky, really. As soon as it arrived, I popped it into the ECU, did some adjustments, and checked the emissions, and everything is fine now again with this car. So after a big rigmarole, a bit of a wild goose chase, but we got there in the end. I'm happy to say this car now can go to the relevant authorities and have the roadworthiness test done. So I'll just give you a quick look at it there. As I said, you may have seen it before. He's a local man to Kinsale, so you'll see it driving around Kinsale if you're ever here. But very nice example, very clean, tidy, and original. Lovely little car. An interesting fact is these cars are the stiffest of all soft top convertible ragtop cars. They have the stiffest chassis of all soft tops. So that's quite an achievement, because so many soft tops suffer from the windscreen sagging and flapping around, and it makes for a very unpleasant driving experience. But this car handles really well. For a front wheel drive car, it handles like it's on rails, and is, as I said, has a really stiff chassis. It is the typical Colin Chapman backbone chassis design, which is fantastic little design, fantastic chassis. So there you go, that's all for now. We'll see you again in the next one.